If you've ever met a black cat, you know this feeling. You're not just being watched, you're being evaluated. One second, they're a silent shadow slipping across the hallway like a secret. The next, they're curled beside you like they've decided, after careful review, that you're worth their time. And that's the real personality of a black cat. Not bad luck, not spooky myths, not a Halloween prop, but a magnetic mix of confidence, sensitivity, and quiet comedy that people don't see coming. So if you think you already get cats, stay with me. The aura: calm, collected, and completely in charge. Black cats often carry themselves like they own the room, even when the room is someone else's living room. They don't always rush to greet strangers. They don't always perform for attention. Instead, they observe, still and focused, like tiny, elegant detectives. It's not fear and it's not arrogance. It's a kind of calm self-control. And here's the hook inside the hook. The more you try to win them over, the more they'll act like they're still deciding. The moment you relax and stop trying so hard, that's when they start moving closer. Not spooky, selective. There's a reason people call black cats mysterious. A lot of them have a selective social style that can look distant at first. But selective doesn't mean cold. It means they don't throw trust around like confetti. They give it in pieces, and each piece means something. If a black cat chooses to sit near you instead of across the room, that's not random. If they blink slowly at you, that's not an accident. If they let you rub their belly, careful, that one might still be a trap. But if they allow it, it's basically a signed peace treaty. And the more you notice those small signals, the more you realize they've been communicating the whole time, just quietly. The intelligence, always 2 steps ahead. Black cats often come across as problem solvers, the kind who learn patterns quickly. They notice routines. They recognize the sound of a food bag from 3 rooms away. They know which door creaks before it opens. They even seem to understand, if I sit here, the human will eventually do that thing I want. It's not that other cats aren't smart. It's that black cats can feel strategic. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're not training them. You're being trained. The dramatic pause, masters of timing. A black cat doesn't always do the funniest thing loudly. They do it with timing. They'll stare at you intensely as if a deep spiritual message is about to be delivered, then slowly knock a pin off the table without breaking eye contact. They'll ignore a toy for 10 minutes like it's beneath them, then suddenly explode into action like a tiny athlete competing for a gold medal. And they love the dramatic exit. If you've ever slightly offended a black cat, maybe you stopped petting too soon, maybe you dared to move your arm, then you've seen it. The slow walk away, the "you'll regret this" tail flick, the silent judgment. It's comedy, it's theater, and somehow it's still adorable. Loyal in a quiet way. Some pets show love like fireworks, big, loud, obvious. Black cats often show love like a lamp in the dark, steady, subtle, and always there when you need it. They may not sprint across the house for every visitor, but they might follow you from room to room, not clinging, just nearby. Supervising, guarding your peace in their own way. And here's a little emotional twist. Many people who live with black cats describe them as unusually bonded, like once a black cat picks you as their person, the relationship becomes deep and consistent. It's not always a clingy love, it's a chosen love. The sensitivity? They read the room. A lot of black cats are surprisingly tuned in to mood and energy. When you're loud and busy, they might keep their distance. When the house is quiet, they appear like a soft shadow and settle close. When you're sick or sad, many black cat owners swear their cat becomes calmer, gentler, almost protective. Not because they're mystical, because cats are observant, and black cats often lean into that observant nature like it's their full-time job. If you've ever talked to a black cat and felt like they were truly listening, you're not alone. They might not understand every word, but they understand you. The confidence, built-in swagger. Let's say it plainly. Black cats often have swagger. They walk like they're wearing a tailored suit. They jump like they've done it 1,000 times. They sit like royalty, even if they're sitting in a cardboard box with a torn edge. And that confidence is part of their charm. They don't beg to be loved. They invite you to earn it. Which is why when they finally flop down next to you and purr like a little engine, it feels like winning a prize you didn't even know you were competing for. The shadow mode, always appearing at the perfect moment. There's a special black cat talent that deserves its own spotlight: stealth. They can appear in a doorway without a sound. They can slip behind furniture like smoke. They can go from not in the room to directly behind you in a way that makes you question reality for half a second. But here's the fun part. It's not just stealth, it's timing. They show up when the food is being prepared. They show up when you sit down with a blanket. They show up when your attention drifts and you start to think, "Where's the cat?" That's when you feel the gaze. And yes, sometimes they're right there watching, like a tiny, silent guardian of the house. Playful, but on their terms. Black cats can be extremely playful, but often in short bursts of high-intensity chaos, followed by long stretches of elegance. One minute, they're lounging like they have no interest in the physical world. The next, they're chasing a speck of dust like it owes them money. A lot of black cats also love interactive play, wand toys, string-like movement, games that feel like hunting. They don't always want random noise or overstimulation. They want a challenge. And if you give them a challenge, they'll show you just how athletic and sharp they really are. The talker or the silent communicator. Some black cats are chatty, tiny voices, constant commentary, little hello sounds as they walk past. Others are almost silent, communicating with body language, the slow blink, the tail flick, the ear tilt, the head bump that says, "Yes, you may continue existing near me." Both styles can be deeply expressive. The difference is whether they use sound or silence. Either way, they make you pay attention, and once you learn their language, it starts to feel like you're part of a private conversation that outsiders don't get. The affection style. I'm here, that's love. Black cats often have a specific kind of affection. Less, look at me, more, I'm with you. They'll sit at the edge of the couch, close enough to touch, but not always demanding it. They'll sleep near your feet like a quiet anchor. They'll choose the same spot in the same room you're in, as if companionship is simply being present. And then, when you least expect it, they switch modes. They climb into your lap, they rub their face against your hand, they purr so strongly it feels like a small motor has started up inside them. And you realize the calm distance wasn't absence of love, it was patience. Here's a mid-script hook. If you've never been chosen by a black cat, you might think they're aloof. But once you've been chosen, you start to notice they're one of the most consistent companions you can have. The protective streak. Tiny panthers with opinions. Black cats sometimes have a protective vibe, not in an aggressive way, more like a "this is my territory and I'm responsible for it" way. They patrol, they monitor windows, they investigate unfamiliar sounds like little security guards. And if someone new enters the home, a black cat may watch from a safe distance before deciding whether the newcomer deserves attention. It's like they run a quiet background check on everyone. And when they decide someone is okay, the shift is obvious. The body relaxes, the gaze softens, the cat moves closer like, "Fine, you may stay." The surprising truth, they're soft-hearted. Under the sleek coat and the dramatic stare, many black cats are soft. They might be cautious, but they're also tender. They might be independent, but they also want belonging. They might act like they're above everything, but they still melt when you scratch the right spot behind the ear. And once they relax, you often see the full personality come out. The goofy rolls, the playful pounces, the sudden zoomies at the most random hour, the little headbutts that feel like a love letter. That contrast is the magic. Shadow on the outside, sunshine in the details. Why people become black cat people. There's a moment black cat owners talk about, even if they don't call it a moment. It's when you realize your cat has been quietly choosing you every day, choosing to sit nearby, choosing to follow you down the hall, choosing to blink slowly when you look at them, choosing to trust your hands, your voice, your presence. And once you've experienced that kind of steady, deliberate love, it changes what you expect from companionship. So if a black cat ever crosses your path, on the street, in a shelter, at a friend's home, don't rush. Don't assume. Don't let old stories speak louder than real life. Just pause. Let them look at you. Because if you're lucky, that silent little panther might decide you're worth their time.